what is going on with this thing? Hmm. Hey guys, this is Bruce, and we're going to dive right into this cybersecurity podcast for Convocourses. And this one's going to be short and sweet. I'm gonna focus on just one thing, and that's this resume that you're seeing here on the screen. And then I'll open it up and answer any kind of questions that we have live. And that's what we're going to do today. Not a lot, but let me just start off by going right into this question that I got. If I can find it, I had it all queued up, and now I'm already losing my spot here. But just bear with me for a second, and I will find it. You know, I should just take a screenshot of it, man. I do this every time. So, can you guys hear me? I hope. Everybody out there. Let me see. Am I have to open this up again? No. Okay, that was just another question. Okay, I see what I did. All right, here's the question. Well, first off, can you guys hear me? I see a few people watching. Can you just chime in if you guys can hear me? So before I go any further. Let me see who's out there. Got like 9 people watching. Okay, it looks like the sound's working. Nobody's saying anything, but it looks like the sound's working from my end. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and dive into this. Okay, so what I'm going to cover today is a green card holder who asked me about getting in the risk management framework and information system security officer work. So the question was as followed. I said, "Hi, Bruce." I said, "Thank you for the detailed training on the role of an information system security officer in implementing the risk management framework. I definitely got way more than my money's worth." Cool. And he says, "I'm a green card holder, new to the world of cybersecurity with just 2 years of experience, and he's recently got certified in Security Plus, that's great. My question is, what would be your advice for me seeing how I'm uneligible for secret clearance?" Okay. And he says, "I have an attached resume that you guys are seeing here on the screen, and for your reference. And do you think that I can get a information system security job or anything close to that? Would you help me to gain some experience?" Okay, that's a great question. It's a great question, and this person, I like questions like that because he's starting off where he is, rather than saying I have zero experience and I want a job in forensics. You know what I mean? That's not realistic. But this person already has 2 years of experience, but he's a green card holder, and he's aware, very importantly, he's aware that this specific category of cybersecurity usually requires some kind of a clearance. So this is great. Now let's preface this. Let's put this in context. What he's talking about is risk management framework. These are typically federal jobs, and they usually require some type of clearance. There's normally it's either a TS clearance, TSSCI, which is like above top secret or whatever with caveats or whatever. And you got a secret clearance, and then you've got a public trust. Sometimes they require that. And the reason why is because you're dealing with policies for large organizations, dealing with very important mission type systems, mission and business systems, dealing with lots of money, or dealing with government decisions that are moving very important information and very important assets, right? So it's very important that the person be a citizen who is dedicated and going to live here in the United States. And it's no difference if you take into account your own country and your own country trying to protect its own interest. Like if you're in Kenya and Kenya has you're with the financial sector, and the government has a banking arm of the federal government in Kenya, and they have to protect Kenyans. So obviously they're not going to have somebody from Europe, from UK, and just automatically have all this control over, or I would hope not, or they would at least have some kind of vetting to see if make sure this person's not going to do something stupid with the citizens' information. So that's the same thing with the U.S. So they're just trying to protect the interest of the United States, and one of the ways that they do that is to run like this background check and to make sure that you are actually either a naturalized citizen or you were born here or something. You are a citizen of the United States. Okay, that's the context. And now he's trying to get a job in one of these fields. The good news is, right off the bat, looking at this resume, having kind of skimmed through it, I'll say yes, you could get a job with these credentials and stuff. So I would say now it's a matter of marketing yourself, and that's what we're going to cover. Now, if you are interested in actually marketing yourself and you happen to be in the same situation where you're here in the U.S. and you're a green card holder, you're not a permanent resident here, you're not a naturalized citizen, then I would encourage you to check out a course that I have specifically for this. And here it is right here, Resume Marketing for Cybersecurity and IT, where what I do is I tell you what I've done all these years that I've been out of the military. I got out in 2003, and I've used this technique for the whole time I've been out of the military. I've not been without a job. I can get a job very quickly, and the reason why is because I've been able to market myself relentlessly, and I tell you exactly what I do here. Now you can sign up for free on Convocourses.com. Go ahead and check it out, and there's actually some free stuff that I put out there all the time. A lot of people just sign up to get free stuff, which is making me mad. I should just make everything paid, but but it's cool. I'm glad people are learning. That's why I'm doing this. And now let's dive right into this. Now what I'm going to do on this resume is I'm going to tell you some tricks that you can use to get you to market yourself better with your resume, even without a clearance, even without a security clearance. So whatever reason you can't get a security clearance, I'm going to show you some things. I'm going to go through this, and I have not read through this thoroughly. I've skimmed through it, but I'm sure we can work something out to where I could show you some tricks that you can use to market yourself, and things that you can use on your own personal resume to get hired. Let's start from the very top. Now, first off, I've changed all the names. This is not obviously not real information. I wouldn't put anybody's information out there like that purposely, but I've changed the name to protect the innocent. And number one thing I do is I put keywords everywhere, including the top of the resume. So I put usually what I want to do: cybersecurity associate. The main reason I do this is to get that keyword up there. And then he's also a security plus. So another thing that you could do as a little trick is say security plus by your name, right? Now, I'm not worried right now about the formatting necessarily. I'm really focused on keywords, because these days, especially in IT, cybersecurity, the main thing that you're going to do is you're going to upload this resume to lots of different search engines. Right, and that's really what this course goes into. It goes into here's how you break down your resume. Here's what keywords you should use. Here's how you find the keywords. Here's the research you need to do. A lot of this course is just researching what you're about to dive into, and then it goes into how do you market on this. I recommend that you go to this site, and this site, and here's how you market yourself on those particular sites. But let's talk about this. Right, so let me give you some free information here. Now, this cybersecurity associate, this could be cybersecurity analyst. What you want to put here is whatever you can really get away with. You can really call yourself, this guy sounds like he can call himself a cybersecurity engineer, cybersecurity analyst, because he's done that kind of work. If you've never done that work before, obviously you probably want to leave this out, because that's not, you can't really, you've never held a role in that. You've never, so you probably you probably can't put that on there. It would be like me having never worked HR saying, hey, I'm a human relations expert. No, I'm not. I've never done it before. I've never held a position for that before. The best I could be able to do in human resources would be to get an entry level position and then work my way up from there using my experience. All right, so let's keep going with this. Let's go with the next one. So I told you one of my best kept secrets here, and put that stuff right on the top. Of course, this is really good. What he's done here, put contact information. I do have an extra trick there that you can do to protect your anonymity, which I would highly recommend. But this part here, let's start here. Professional summary. You can put this in here. This works really good on LinkedIn. This little blurb here. I would put as many keywords in here as possible. It says highly motivated and dedicated cybersecurity professional with 3 years of experience and exposure into information system development, security lifecycle. Okay, so right here, I would change this right here. So this is just my personal. And here's, let me see if I can turn on the clear formatting. Let me see if I could turn on there's a way you can mark it while you're doing it. I'm not seeing it for some reason. It's usually right over here. Oh, there it is, editing. Okay. I'm going to turn on suggestions so that it will show what I'm changing. So information system development lifecycle. So there's a really good keyword you could use. I would recommend using here. If I was him, I would put SDLC, because that's a keyword. It's specifically, it's called the system development lifecycle. We're not going to worry about spelling. We're going to run spell check after this. Always run spell check. System development lifecycle. So what does this tell you? This is telling the employer that you know this process. This becomes very important, especially dealing with NIST, because the risk management framework is you're a security person and you're working directly with the system security engineers, right? So if you're working with system admins, system security engineers, all these different technical people who have their hands on the equipment all the time, you have to be in line with their development process, which is in line with what's called the system development lifecycle. So that's why SDLC is a keyword. So there's one. And before I go too deep into this, let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is the security clearance. All right. So here's the thing about the security clearance. If you are eligible for a security clearance, whether that be secret, top secret, whatever, those two high ones, those two right there. If you are eligible for those, meaning you are a U.S. citizen, naturalized or otherwise, you will have more jobs available to you. Okay, this is absolutely true. If you are just a green card holder, you actually you're not eligible for a clearance. That doesn't mean you can't get a job. It's going to limit how many you can get, but there's certain things you can put on your resume that will still allow you to get many other jobs, because there's some jobs that are security compliance jobs, but they don't require a clearance. Why do I know that? Because I'm currently working one of those jobs. My previous job, they asked me if I had a clearance, and it turned out I never even once needed that clearance. So there are federal, state, and privately held companies who need a security compliance person. Because if you do NIST, if you do risk management framework, if you're an information system security officer, you are doing what's called security compliance, which is a bigger umbrella. Security compliance deals with risk management as a whole in different industries, okay? Not just federal government that usually requires some kind of clearance, but also in hospitals. Security compliance is done in banking. It's done anywhere where there's important data. There's security compliance that is necessary. And if you have NIST risk management framework experience, you can translate that into things like working for hospitals, working for banks, working for large organizations that do security risk analysis. You can work yourself into those things. You can even be a security control assessor, because they need people who have the ability to look at documents, or the ability to know what federal documents you need and stuff like that. So I just wanted to address that real quick. There's this narrative in the U.S. that says and you may, I don't know if you're in the U.S., you may have heard it, because things are very political here now. But they say, oh, well, immigrants are taking our jobs. Immigrants are taking our jobs. Watch out, immigrants are taking our jobs. I can't speak for any other industry, but I can tell you in cybersecurity and information technology, for the most part, that is not true. And the reason why is because a lot of Americans, for whatever reason, do not go into STEM. They don't go into science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. They just don't. It's not cool to do it. They rather be a rapper or something like that. They rather be a football player or something. There's just not a lot of us that are doing this. And the reason why I know this is because I've been doing this for 20 years, and every job I've gone to is hurting for people to do cybersecurity in particular. We need experts like you to get out there, to get in the weeds, and to do this hard work, because this isn't easy. And because we are so stretched thin, a lot of cybersecurity people are quitting because they want to put more hats on you. Every time you get a job position, they instantly want to give you way too many clients. They instantly want to make you wear 2 or 3 different hats. Like, you're not only going to do the risk analysis, you're also going to write this or that document. You're also going to approve this or that proposal, or you're gonna do several different things. You're also gonna work and help out with the patch management. You're also gonna, like, normally you're gonna have, like, really good industries. What they'll do is they'll have one department that does health and human services, and one department that does patch management, one department that does information system security officer work, one department. Each department's doing different things. With cybersecurity, a lot of times if it's in a bad organization, they'll pile all that work onto one person because they don't have enough people to do all the work. So yeah, we need people to do this work. So and cybersecurity has been hot. I've not been without a job. Now, there's been times when I got laid off because they lost a contract, and I immediately got another job. And the only reason I didn't get one like the next day is because I'm picky and I wanted more money. So anyway, let's keep going through this. So right away, we want to put as many keywords all over the place as possible. There's a highlighted keyword there. Here's another keyword here. And then we want to put it everywhere. If you're going to do this summary, I don't typically do this summary thing. I just get right into it myself personally. But this is okay. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, but not a technique I usually use, except like on LinkedIn or Indeed or one of those other sites or something like that has like an entry for it. He says that he's done risk management framework as methodology to manage the security of information systems using applicable NIST guideline standards. That's good. There's lots of keywords in there. That's fine. What skills does he have? Now, this is why I said that this person could get a job. It's saying compliance and risk management framework. Okay, so let's broaden this. Let's say security compliance. So we're more specific and we get that keyword in there. We just highlight that keyword. So we're saying, look, we don't just do risk management framework. And clearly he doesn't. Like, here's another security compliance framework that's dealing with credit cards that he knows. I would definitely highlight this. I would put stuff like this throughout my resume, because lots of organizations that are private talk about PCI, need a PCI DSS person. If you have HIPAA, now I noticed in here, kind of like been skimming through here, and I noticed that he has HIPAA. I would put this in there too as my skill set. I would put as many instances of this. And the reason why this is a good one to have is because, again, if you're trying to do this without that security clearance, they're looking for things like this. This is another security compliance type thing you can do. Another one that I would put in here is if you've ever done it, Sarbanes-Oxley, or it's called SOX. Another one is ISO 2700. Now, if you haven't done it, don't put it on your resume. But if you have, these are all security compliance standards. You want to put as many of those in there as possible that you know. Like even ITIL, any ones that you can think of, put them on there, because you're telling them, listen, I don't just do risk management. I do all these other security compliant frameworks. I'm very familiar with them, and you want to put them on all throughout your resume, not just on the top, but you want to put instances of where you've done HIPAA, where you've done PCI, and all that kind of stuff. All right, let's keep going. I think we kind of went through this one. This is kind of, I wouldn't really put this one in there. It's kind of a waste. We'll come back and fix this, all the spelling errors and stuff throughout the document. You always want to spell check your stuff. Don't put misspellings. Some people are real sticklers for misspellings, even if you have everything you need. So he's got a bachelor's degree. That's great. And he's got a certification. And then here's another trick that you can do. Common trick is to put that your. Let me see. Okay, how do I? Am I on the next line or am I? What's going on? This format is weird. Let me undo what I just did. Go like this. Okay, here we go. We want to put CIS. Wait, hold up. Why is it not appearing? That's strange. It's just not appearing here. I think it's because it's white. Maybe. Nope. Yeah, it's white. There we go. CISSP. Working on the CISSP. Whatever you're working on. Okay. Now, if you're not working on CISSP, if you're not working on CEH, if you're not working on CASP, if you're not working on any of those higher level certifications, don't put them there. But if you are, if you happen to be like, if you have a goal of eventually getting CISSP and you have been kind of dabbling in it, say working on CISSP. The reason why you want to put that there is because that's a key word. CISSP is something everyone's looking for. And you put it on there, and you're guaranteed to get more people looking at your resume. They might say we need a CISSP, but he does have a security plus, and he has done 2700, and he has done HIPAA and PCI before. Let's give him a try. Let's bring him in here. So more exposure is better. All right. So let's get into the actual meat of this resume. All right, so here we are on the top, and we're talking about he's worked at this company in somewhere in Virginia. This is a great area. Virginia, DC, Maryland area is one of the hottest, the hottest market in the U.S. for cybersecurity, just so you know. There's so many jobs there constantly, so it's hard not to get a job there if you have the right resume and if you can market yourself well enough to get yourself in front of their faces. Okay, so what are we going to do here? So he's got, let's just kind of skim through this. It says he's got analysis, implementation, and evaluation of access controls for this company's specific standard operating procedures. That's okay, cool. Provide compliance. Let's just put security compliance because that's a good keyword. Security compliance, insight, guidance, and training for new system implementations and other security related concerns. It's good. Okay, cool. So this is good stuff. He's got keywords in there and stuff. What I would emphasize, because remember what we're trying to do is we're emphasizing things that are not necessarily in line with federal government. It would be cool if we get picked up by the federal government or state government or whatever, but we need to broaden our horizons. So we probably want to do something like this. We probably want to take this one right here. We want to highlight and put some of our other security compliance skills on the top. That's what I would do. So that this is the stuff that they see, and they can see, hey, this guy is not just he don't just know one security compliance type of security compliance. And then we want to go further and say something like assisted with several. If this is not true, obviously you wouldn't put it. I'm just giving you an example of something you would want to do if this was the case. And in this guy's case, he could put something like this: assisted with several security compliance frameworks, including but not limited to HIPAA and NIST Cybersecurity Framework. Or he could put NIST SP 800-3037, which is Risk Management Framework, RMF. So we're emphasizing over and over again throughout our resume, we know other things besides NIST. All right, like that's what you want to keep continuing to piggyback. I always spell HIPAA wrong. I spelled it wrong on a slide one time. Somebody called me out on it. I'm not sure if I've changed it. Anyway, yeah, HIPAA and NIST, and then anything else that he's done, I would list it up top, is what I would do. Because a lot of there's some organizations, like the one I currently work for, I don't have to have a clearance, and then I'm also working in many different industries, so I don't need to necessarily know 837. That's just that helped me get the job because that one is. There's many other frameworks that are very similar to 837 Risk Management Framework. So if you know Risk Management Framework, you can very easily transition, and you'll understand HIPAA, you'll understand PCI, you'll understand Sarbanes-Oxley, you'll understand ISO 27000. All these other all of them have a similar best practice. So I'm able to write the documents, I'm able to review different industries, I just know, I know it because I've been doing this for years. And so that's what you want to emphasize, is that, hey, there's a broad thing, I can really do a lot of things here. And if you need me to do consulting for this or that, I can do it. I'm not seeing a lot of, another thing he would want to do is emphasize things like this. Monitor user access to the network and conducted a monthly review on user access based on Active Directory groups. Reason why this one's important, if you're a green card holder, if you can't get a secret clearance, is because it's technical. You don't have to. How many different organizations use Active Directory? So this is not specific to NIST. It's all over the place. It's people who don't even have any affiliation with NIST. You want to put more technical stuff in here. Like if you've ever set hands on a router or a firewall, you would want to put your experience with, and I'm just going to give an example here, assisted with cyber security. I got to put those keywords in here. Cybersecurity analysis of Palo Alto firewall, and then you want to name the kind of firewall it is, 57,000, whatever it is, right? The number, you want to be very specific. That's not a firewall, obviously. I'm just making stuff up. And then the impact is organization. Always put the impact. Action, impact. What was the impact of what I did? The impact of in this case is organization continues to use the security analysis for security results for cost benefit analysis. I don't know. Cost benefit analysis. So they're using my data to determine if they need to buy another firewall and how much they should spend. So we're just saying, here's what we did. Here's the impact to the whole organization. Here's how it helped the whole organization out. What else can we put up top? What else can we highlight? You want to put as many technical things as possible. You want to put more frameworks that you've used, any of them, put them on top. You want to, if you've ever worked with Cisco, the Cisco guys, you want to put that in there too. Any kind of technical stuff, put it in there. So that's what I would do. And I would sit down, spend time putting every kind of technical device that I've helped on from a security perspective. If I've looked at the logs for Cisco devices, I'll put the type of Cisco device that I looked at the logs on, the why, and what was the impact to the organization after I helped them look at those logs. If there was a security incident involving Windows 10 system where we had to extract the hard drive and I had to help the forensics team analyze the hardware and see if there was illegal activity happening with that, I would put that in there. Any kinds of technical things that you've done, put them in there. Other kinds of frameworks, and you would want to do that on all of these. Now you want to leave your other stuff here too. I see he's got POAM, plan of action, and milestone. That's all good. That's good stuff. That's really nice to have. But we want to emphasize as much as possible technical things that are broad enough to where you could work really anywhere. And that's what my recommendation would be for this. And I'm actually gonna spend more time on this resume, and I will send him this back because this dude is a paying customer and has already signed up for some of my stuff. So that's what I do for you. If you actually do sign up on my site, I'll actually take a look at your resume and show you how show you how you can actually streamline it to make it better. All right, I've got some questions here. Let me see. I've got a few people watching. Audio is good, loud and clear. How you doing? Novi 2000, Victor, how you doing? Military Hack Force, how you doing? Says he can still work remote for non-defense related companies. Absolutely, yeah. There's so many, and they're always looking for people. The thing is, you have to market yourself and put yourself in front of people who are actually literally right now looking for you. Right now, there's somebody out there, some company, some organization, some loan contractor who is looking for somebody with your skills, and you just need to put yourself in front of them. So that starts off with your resume and putting as many keywords in there as possible so that they know that you are a good fit for these people. So I totally agree with you there, Military Hack Force. There's lots of different Fortune 1000, Fortune 500 companies who actually have contracts with state and government organizations all throughout the world. And those guys are looking for people like us who have a risk management framework, who have this kind of experience that you have on your resume. All right. I really enjoy the live feed. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys. You're the best in this field I've ever seen. That's kind of crazy talk, to be honest with you. Not even close. But I am somebody who's willing to share what I have. I'm still literally in this field. This is what I do day to day. I've been doing risk management framework for many years. So I wish more of us would put their information out there to explain, like, here's how you do it. So we can get more people, fresh blood into this, because the reality of cybersecurity, the crazy statistic that I saw is that a lot of us, this whole field is getting older. This whole field is getting a lot older, and it's the average age, I want to say, is mid 40s. You know, there's not a lot of young people in our field. Even the people I'm working with now, the average age is about 40. About 40 years old. Because the youngest person probably is in their mid 30s. And then at the last place I was in, same thing. The youngest guy he was late 20s, the youngest guy, but everybody else was older. So we really do need more younger people to come in this field. And I don't know, I'm not sure what's going on, why we don't have as many. But I know it takes a few years to kind of get experienced enough to do some of this stuff, but we're hurting so bad now that I'm sure that they'll start hiring more younger people. We need more people of color. We need more women. We need more representation across the board to be more representative of America, and to have a different perspective. It's not even about like what race or what religion or whatever. It's really about having different perspective and bringing fresh eyes for better peer reviews, for better insight into what's going on into these different organizations and into these different hacks. And another perspective is always welcome. And that's really the power of having a diverse community like America. The more diverse it is, the more you have these different perspectives, and the more innovations you have, really. That's why the U.S. has so many innovations, because there's so many different perspectives on it, and there's so many people sharing different ideas technically, that's helping us to be way, way ahead, to the point where other countries have to steal our information to get ahead, even get close to the U.S. And I think that I attribute that to the immigrants who come over here, because the best of the best are coming over here a lot of times, especially in IT. All right, so I've got thanks for that $10, Novi 2000. And your question is, what are your thoughts on doing freelance security work? I can totally talk about this one. Risk management assessments for companies that do not have a developed information security program. So doing this kind of stuff, doing these, putting stuff on my site, putting stuff on YouTube, putting stuff on Facebook. I've been contacted by organizations to do either teaching or to do actual assessments. So my views on it is freelance work is cool. It's great. It's it's really great, but a lot of times, like you just mentioned, the companies don't have a developed. If they're reaching out to me, they typically don't have, and sometimes don't need a super highly developed information security program, because it's only like a few people with a few systems. But I have been contacted before, and I actually have done work for people doing freelance security work, and it's great. It's great. And if you put yourself out here like I'm doing here, like just doing these free lessons and stuff, companies will contact me and say, hey Bruce, would you like to fly out here to help us out? This has happened to me more than once. One time a company contacted me for teaching, and they liked some stuff I was, back when blogging was big. I still have a blog and stuff, but back then I had a blog that got so big that people knew who I was by my face, and not so much anymore. But I was the only one talking about this kind of stuff, risk management framework, DIACAP at the time, and it just wasn't many people talking about it. So the DoD was using some of my material. I know, because I'd get a job somewhere. One time I got a job in another country, and somebody knew who I was. I was like, what? This person knew who I was because they had learned from my website how to do their work. Crazy. And then when I was teaching, people knew me by my face. They were like, oh yeah, I've seen your site. What other crazy stuff? Just crazy stuff would happen to me like that from doing this kind of work, like putting free stuff on the internet. So if you actually have an expertise in this, I would highly recommend creating a channel, doing some kind of social media, and talking about your expertise, because there's always somebody who is on the outside looking in, and you're on the inside, and you have all this information, you have this valuable information to put out there, and you don't even realize how valuable your information is. You don't even realize how valuable your information is. We're on the precipice of a dawn of a new era for humanity. I know it's dark right now. It seems like crazy, but if we can actually survive, if humanity can survive and not kill ourselves, we are on the precipice of a humanity that's going to drastically change. And this is just the beginning. I know it looks crazy right now, but this is just the beginning, and I think great things are going to happen for all of humanity. And this is an opportunity for you to share, you being on the beginning, cutting, bleeding edge of this technology that's happening on all of humanity. It's literally changing who we are as a species. Just think about how much the internet and how much mobile phones have changed our behaviors. It's scary. It's terrifying, actually. But at the same time, it's exciting because we're on a cliff. Like we're looking out on this valley of a whole nother era that's happening now. So it's a really exciting time to be alive. Yes, coronavirus sucks. 2020 is hard. The economy is collapsing. I know all this stuff's happening, but if you go back to the 1960s, it was way worse than what we have now. If you go back to the 1930s, it was way worse. There, if you go back to the Spanish flu in 1800 in 19 the 18th century, 1916, whenever it happened, yeah, that was really bad, and we weren't prepared. Nobody was prepared, and many millions of people died over the course of like 3 years. It's so as bad as things are now. I'm not saying it's not bad, but as bad as things are now, they have been a lot worse in the past. And I do believe things will get better, and we'll get a handle on the coronavirus at some point. America is probably going to be the last country to do it, but we'll get there. Kester says, "Do I consult you? How do I consult you? I am new to information security with a Security Plus, a CISA, a CISM, and an ITIL. I need guidance to start my career in security." So, Kester, before I tell you anything, how much actual experience do you have? And then I'll answer your question. Let me see. Military Hack Force says, "Wow, I did not know about the age demographic. Good opportunity for everyone." Man, I'm telling you, I didn't know about it either. Actually, I found out about it when I was doing I was studying for creating one of my courses, and I was blown away by the statistics of it. The average age is really high, and we're not getting enough new people in. Hopefully will change now. Hopefully now it'll change, but we don't have a lot of cybersecurity people. And I was like, this has to be wrong. This statistic can't be right. It can't be right. But then I was like, well, okay, right now, the oldest person at my last job, the oldest person was almost 60. And then the youngest people, there were 2 people in their 20s. Like one was late 20s, right? And then the rest were all of us were in our mid 40s. All the rest. And then we're talking about 20 different people. And then I was like, well, okay, what about my last job? And I went back to I was thinking back, okay, my last job at this aerospace company, same thing. All of us were like, I think I was the youngest at the time. I was like late 30s, and these other guys were like, in their late 40s, mid-late 40s. So yeah, man, it's crazy. Military Force says, it's so bad. Before I move on, it's so bad that I can't even, like, just talking about popular culture, like a lot of times these older dudes don't know what memes are. I mean, now I'm sure they do, but when they were first coming out, like they would be, and I only know because I have kids, right? Like memes and like, like, like all these different trends that are happening super fast, right? All these things are happening. And a lot of times these older guys don't really know. They're not linked into all this stuff that's happening right now. And I got teenagers, so I know, because they're always, "Hey dad, check this out. Hey dad, check this out," And plus I'm into new media, new social media and all this kind of stuff. Military Hack Force says, "For sure minorities need to take advantage. Love what you had to say about diversity." Man, it's super important, just like having a different set of eyes. It's a different set of a whole different, like a woman with certain experience is going to see things totally different, and is going to present, like one of my mentors, real good, a close friend of mine, who she actually got me this current job, and her and I went to a client. And we were there with the client and everything. And then the way she approached the customer was different than the way that I would have, because we're completely from different backgrounds. And so I'm learning from her. I'm like, wow, like how is she approaching it? And the way she did it was beautiful. And I was like, damn, I want to do it like that. Like I'm taking some things from her tool chest and then putting them in mine, so that when I have to approach a client, I can use some of her techniques. And that's stuff that she was able to get from her own personal experience, having, just everybody has a different way of looking at a problem, and everybody has a different way. So when you have different eyeballs and different people looking at these different problems, you're bound to come up with some incredible things. And that's why I really believe that that's why America is so far ahead, because humanity is a melting pot of humanity. America is a melting pot for humanity, where all of these different ideas and all these different freedom of expression are coming here, making the best music, not the best music, but the most viral music. You know what I mean? Not to stomp on any other culture or any other nationality or anything, but the U.S. dominates on several different fields. And I think the reason why is because we have people from all over the world coming here and sharing ideas freely, that you don't have that in China. They suppress ideas there. You don't have it in Russia. They have a spread, and they're brilliant people there in China and in Russia, but they don't have the strength of an immigrant, of immigrants coming here. Think about it like this, if you don't believe me. The creation of atomic bomb, atomic energy, like you had several people, you had Albert Einstein and numerous other scientists who were on the bleeding edge of that technology at the time. Now, I'm not saying that we should have, not to say that it was right for us to drop a bomb or anything like that, but the technology, for us to have reached it so quickly, has everything to do with immigrants. Immigrants did that. SpaceX, guess who created that? An immigrant from South Africa. Google, created by 2 children of immigrants. Hell, the last few presidents are the children of immigrants, including Donald Trump, whose grandfather is from Belgium or something. He's from one of the outskirts of Germany. So his grandfather. So immigrants come here and they come here and they're not holding back. They're going for it. All the way back to 1776, the founding of the United States. It was immigrants who really founded it. It was immigrants who put it all together. It was Alexander Hamilton was an immigrant who created the financial system. I mean, it's immigration that's making this country so great. It is. I mean, that's really what it is. And the minute that we start cutting ties with that, and the minute we start kind of pushing back, is when it looks really bad. And that's just my personal opinion. Navi 2000 says, good to hear, working to build my network, and training is a great angle as well. Not sure about doing live streams though. Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. It's not. Yeah, just take baby steps. Take baby steps. But I'm telling you, like, this is a great advertisement for just me personally. Like, when I just do these free courses or free things that I put out here, somebody will see it and say, hey, Bruce, like, have you ever done this? Would you mind coming here to help us to assess this or that? And, sometimes the answer is yes. Let me see. Kester. Okay, Kester says, I have 3 years of related experience. Okay, that's a good solid start. And your question was, Kester says, hello, how do I consult you? How do I consult you? You mean you have a question for me? Okay. I am new to the information security, and I have a Security Plus, a CISM, a CISA, an ITIL, and I need guidance to start my career in security. So, okay. So first off, I've got, if you're interested, I have a course here. If you're not already signed up, sign up here. I've got a free course, and I've got free stuff on my YouTube channel as well, where I'll talk about this kind of stuff. Lots of free stuff. But I've got a free course where I talk about exactly what you're asking, which is, how do you start? You go to, hold on, let me see if I can find it. It is this one right here. So what I'm telling you to do on this one is how to take a resume and then transform it into a cybersecurity resume. A lot of times the problem is not you, right? It's not that you didn't get the right certification. It's not that if you have IT experience, it's not that you don't have the right certification. It's not that you are it's the way you look or whatever. It's marketing. All right. This is something the IT people, we just want to do the work, right? We're just nerds and geeks who just want to do the work. We don't really know marketing. You have to know how to market yourself and put yourself in the way of all of this opportunity that's out here. When Americans say, "Oh, there's no jobs, there can't," man, I'm telling you, every job I've been to has had a lack of people, has had a lack of expertise, and is constantly rotating people out. Like, what happens is somebody gets in the job, then they're offered another job making more money somewhere else, and then they go get that job, and then now we have an empty seat, and we're constantly getting new people into our positions because we don't have enough people to do the work. Now, not just anybody off the streets can do this. If you have IT experience, though, it means that you have done some level of security, and that is what I talk about in this course, in that free course there. And I'm working on one, I'm expanding one that breaks how to actually find out all the experience you have throughout your resume. Like this resume here, I could pick this thing apart and come up with tons of more stuff that he's done that's not even listed on here, and there's tons of keywords and stuff. Like, if you're really serious about this, then go check this one out. This is this one right here, this resume marketing one is really good, and this has helped me throughout all these years. These methods, the stuff I do is very straightforward. It's not even magical at all, man. It's not magic. It's just, there's a technique, and once you see it, you'll be like, oh, of course. Of course. And I kind of teach it throughout my Convocourses. So if you go to Convocourses and search resume, search interviews, search those things on my channel, you'll find tons of free stuff that I've been doing for the last two years on here. I know people are hurting financially, so some people can't afford it. So yeah, there's tons of free stuff out there that I talk about personally. Mayuk says, new to your channel, learning very interesting things. Well, welcome. Kester says, worked previously at HR management with a sole responsibility for access management and in a bank for over 7,000 employees. I guarantee, Kester, if this is true, what you're telling me is true, I can guarantee you've done some security stuff before. If you've done access management before, then there's tons of stuff you can put on your resume that will reflect a lot of different security things. And just real quickly, I could show you a real quick trick that I'm going to go into greater detail on a course that I'm actually creating right now. We got to edit it, but let me just show you what I'm talking about. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Now, I talked about this last week. Like I said, I put a lot of free stuff on this channel. But if you go to CIS controls, is one of the things you can do. This is just a guide. There's many other ones you can use. But CIS control, this CIS control right here, let me just see if I can get a bigger image of it. This right here breaks down all the CIS controls. CIS is like a framework for private and public organizations. They use it to implement security in their environment. If you've done any of these things before, you've done security. If you have 3 years of experience related to CIS and security stuff, then yeah, you go through this and you figure out what you've done security, and then you word it in such a way that they can clearly see that you've done security stuff and you are experienced in security. You put that on your resume. That's it. That is it. And I got 10 people watching. Appreciate everybody. Navi 2000, thank you so much for that $10. I appreciate you. Again, guys, there's tons of free stuff on my course. There's signups for free, and lots of free stuff there. And sometimes I'll just update things and I'll put some stuff out there that's on a paid course for free. So if you sign up, you should be able to see that, or you can review it and stuff. And then, like I said, on YouTube, there's tons of other free stuff that you can check out. I'm going to end this here real soon. Mayuk says, been in the job market for a while, not sure what's going on. Like I said, this is something I get all the time, and that's why I made a whole course about it. And that's why I talk about this often, is that marketing is the issue. Keywords, marketing, and that is it. If you can, I'm telling you, I've not had a problem getting jobs. And I'm telling you, I've been in this market since before 2008. Remember 2008? The big .com, the big .com crash, the big crash that happened with the housing market and stuff in the U.S. and all over the world. I have no problems. I got a raise. I'm just telling you, man. The jobs are out there. You just got to know how to market yourself. And then that's not just for IT, by the way. The stuff that I'm teaching would work in any industry. If you're in the healthcare industry, if you're in food services, if you're whatever industry, it would work. I mean, it would work. And anyway, even now, I work from home, making more money I've ever made in my freaking life. And how did I do it? By using the techniques that I talk about on my website for free, by the way, for free. And if you want to go deeper, that's a whole nother subject. You can go to Convocourses.com, and I can help you personally. After you go through the course, send me your resume. I'll check it out. That's what I'm doing here. This resume, what you're seeing here is somebody's resume. I've changed the name to protect the innocent and everything. And I'm helping him because he actually purchased a course. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'll do the best I can to answer that. Andy says, "Hey Andy, how you doing?" He says, "Hey Bruce, saving money to start the program soon." Appreciate it, man. Andy, do you have any IT experience at all? Randy Brandon says, been in the job market for about 3 months and now still no luck. Yeah, it all comes down to marketing. I get that a lot. So far, 3 people on this very live stream has said the same thing, and it's all comes down to this right here. See this resume right here? What we do is we go through it. You put keywords in it, and then we market the hell out of it. And then you will see a lot of opportunities. Not all of them will be for you. But the thing is, you've got to separate the wheat from the chaff. You got to separate the things you don't need. The more you get, it's like you're panning for gold, right? You're scooping up some silt from the river, and then you're shaking the little screen, and you're trying to see if there's gold, or you're walking across the beach with a metal detector looking for gold. You know what I mean? You're fishing, you're looking for all these jobs. But the way that I do it is I cast a huge net, and I get all of these opportunities, people emailing me, calling me. I literally have to turn off my resumes, and there's a feature in some of these sites you could turn off your resume. It's still there, but you turn it off to where not as many people are seeing it. It's on private, like on Dice, on Indeed, on all these sites. You can actually put it to private. I have to put it on private because I get so many calls and so many emails that it just gets annoying, and it's almost like a flood of different opportunities that I got to turn down most of them. And some of them are actually pretty good. And sometimes I actually put them here on my site. So if you go to Convo Courses, you type in jobs, you'll see a ton of jobs that I've posted over the years. I also put them on my website too. And he says, well, I took a few classes at the local college, but not very much experience, to be honest. Well, Andy, then I would suggest don't waste your money. Keep your money. But what you could do is to see if this is for you, go to convocourses.com. If you already are there, check out this course right here. This is a free course that I have. And this will tell you basically what you need to do to get into cybersecurity. Because I had a lot of questions from people who are trying to get into it, who don't know where to start, who don't know what, don't have no idea what's going on. So this is a good place to start. Totally free for now. And just look through it. and it'll, if nothing else, it'll help you to determine if this is a path you want to go to, because there's lots of other industries out there. There's lots of other very hot industries. Healthcare industry is really super hot. Banking industry is still super hot. There's other industries out there. You don't necessarily have to do IT to make money. This is just the one I know personally, so this is why I talk about it. But I can tell you, my wife is in healthcare industry and it's hot. I mean, it's not easy, but it's got a lot of opportunities there. So, all right, guys, that's it. I got 15 people watching. That's pretty amazing for my channel. Appreciate everybody. Thanks again to Navi2000. Thanks to everybody for watching. Appreciate everybody who week after week have been joining me. Appreciate you. I am out of here, and I'll see you next week. There'll be something released tomorrow, and then something released the week after that. I don't know if I'll do a live next week. That's why I decided to do one for sure this week. And I'll talk to you guys